This is Daniel Simon at Baton Rouge Community College, and I want to welcome you to my History 1113 class for the spring semester 2024. Today, of course, I'm going to go over the course syllabus and the use of Canvas. I hope everybody's having a great semester at this point so far. Today, I'll kind of go into what y'all signed up for, which, of course, is the World Civilizations 1 class. Which goes up to like 1500 AD. So I'll kind of go over, the main points in the syllabus and talk about what's on my Canvas right now. Let me go ahead and kind of talk about some announcements I already have on um, Canvas right now for the History 1113 class. As you should see an announcement about this recorded syllabus review. You'll probably see that probably the week before classes begin. That kind of goes over, you know, kind of some of the things I'll kind of talk about with the class. I'll kind of discuss, the outline of what you're going to have to do to make your grade this semester for the class. I'll kind of go through the contents of the syllabus, talk about various assignments and use of Canvas and other important details, of course, about the class. So should see that right there. If you do have any questions about the class, you can email me. And don't forget, Canvas discussions, you can go in there and ask me questions anytime, during the semester overall. Do make sure you look over the course syllabus, especially at the beginning of the semester. Syllabus is posted there and pretty much in a lot of locations. I'll show you later in Canvas right now. But I'll later be discussing, what the first upcoming lectures will be for the semester. I know prehistory and Mesopotamia, those will be probably the first two lecture topics I'll have, later that will be assessed mostly in Canvas quizzes that I'll have. You'll also see this in modules as well, but I'll be posting announcements about that later. There should be another announcement that says welcome to History 1113. So do check that out also as well. That talks about the syllabus at the top. Then it does go into some other assignments, like it discusses the book report, which is a major assignment with my class. So you will have to read at least one historical work for the semester. So do start looking at that right now. If you're interested in any bonus projects, I do have these two bonus projects that I do for extra credit. They're worth up to 200 bonus points if you're interested. It's mostly a volunteer project, but I've got the Veterans Oral History Project. Check that out. And then I do have the Student Historical Documentary Project, which is a new project I started last year, but that's something you can also do for extra credit. You can do both of them if you can, if possible. But I do allow students to do both projects if you want to. So I think it says on the bottom about the recorded video that I've got as well. I'll show you later, but there's also a preview video I've got also. My class is a little different. I mostly use recorded type videos for my lectures. And I have a YouTube channel I'll show you later, but most of my lectures, of course, are put on YouTube. So it is a non-synchronous class that you signed up for overall. On the bottom, it talks about completing the pre-test and the student contract policy page. Do make sure, of course, that you complete those at the beginning of the semester, because that has a lot to do with attendance and things like that. So if you don't complete those, it's like you're not in the class. So make sure that you do complete those. And then on the bottom, it talks about if you have a comment, question about the class, you can email me or go to discussions, also as well. And I can answer questions right there or comments. There should be some other announcements too, as well. There should be one about the pre-test. So make sure, like I said, take that because that counts toward week one attendance of the semester, and also the student contract policy page also as well. You can find that in the syllabus on page 5, or you can also go to right there where student contract policy page, download that, and post it in Canvas You also can email me and just say that you agree to the terms of the syllabus as well. But you get bonus points for both those at the beginning of the semester. There should be like a preview video. You'll find that somewhere on my Canvas as well that I've got. I think it's in modules too as well, but recorded last year. But it kind of just gives you a tour of my Canvas course and kind of what it looks like, things like that. So you can also look at that as well. So got that posted, I think, in announcements, but you'll find it also in modules as well. There should be an announcement about YouTube channel important links that I've got. And I've got, I think, the lecture playlist I've got listed on there, which I'm kind of working on revising some of those lectures right now, which I'll show later, I guess. But there should be a link to, like, if you want to look at some of the examples of the veterans projects. I'll try to put the one up for the student historical documentary also as well. I'll put that link in there for you too. And then I do got the main link to my YouTube channel, which you see below is my YouTube channel, like the heading of it anyway, what it looks like. But with the lecture playlist, you'll later have a list of lectures that we'll have for the semester. I'll probably put more than one on there. I'll have like different ones you can look at that I've got. I've got some that I've got revised, and then I've got some older ones. They're pretty much the same thing, but I'll have those later. And so those will be assessed in like quizzes, exams. Also, I do give bonus points for discussion. Like if you have a comment question about a lecture, you get bonus points for that, which you can leave comments, questions on YouTube, but prefer it in discussions as well, as we can share stuff. I think it's like +8 bonus points per comment question they give out usually. So you can earn a lot of bonus points that way. Take advantage of that during the semester, all that. I think it's like just 2 per week is what you can get the most, plus 16, but you can do that. Let me go ahead and talk about the syllabus next for History 1113. That's located in different locations in Canvas, which I've already showed you already. There should be like a main location of where it is right below announcements. See on the left there, there should be the course syllabus right there at the top. It's also in announcements and should be in modules on different locations. That's the textbook they use for the History 1113 class. It's called History of World Societies. I think the one we're pretty much doing is Volume 1, first half to 1500. There is a combined edition, which is what that one looks like. I'm not really mandatory about the textbook. I don't really teach out of the book, if you wonder about that, but you need it as a reference and also to do the vocabulary assignments I give you as well. I would recommend getting the book. There is a Volume 1 version of it, which looks like that. You see right there on the bottom. So you can get that one instead. If you're not going to take both classes, just get Volume 1. But if you're going to take both classes, you might want to get the combined edition overall. There are online versions too of the actual textbook. Like BRCC sells the actual textbook, but you want to get like either a textbook or an online version, maybe an ebook version of it too out there as well. There are some links right there, of course, on the bottom for you to take a look at. I think on the bottom there should be like a course summary of assignments that are coming up. I think that's from a long time ago there, but kind of show you what it might look like later, of course, that are there. Let's talk about the syllabus. Of course, it does talk about contact information, which I think the contact information is also located at the bottom of modules. We want to go look at that, but it does go into contact information. So yeah, I'm a full-time professor here at BRCC. I think I've been teaching here since, 2005 is when I started full-time, and I've taught at BRCC going back to August 2001. So I've been teaching for, I guess, my 23rd year. I've been teaching. history, world history. I mostly teach 11, 13, 11, 23 classes. But my main office is on Louisiana Building, third floor, LA 328. I've got different phone numbers. That's my cell number, 937-9242. I do have you can see their office number, 221-684-95. I prefer email, if you know about that. So see my email address right there. But I do have office hours if you're on campus and you want to come meet me Tuesday, Thursday at 9 to 10:30. Louisiana 328, of course, it says there. And then I'm pretty much at home Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 9:30 to 12 p.m., I guess, online. But I prefer email. Like, you notice, email me about something or discussions also as well. You can send me comments there, things like that. What class have you signed up for? It's History 1113, a survey course of like the major world civilizations going back to like prehistory up to 1500. We don't really do much with prehistory, but we talk about all these different world civilizations. The River Valley civilizations go up through talking about ancient Greece, the Romans, the Roman Empire, Byzantine Empire, rise of Islam, Middle Ages. I think those are the major topics we kind of go into mostly in this particular course. We not only do as much stuff like ancient American history, like I guess they call it pre-Columbian, but sometimes I would do that here and there. But I think it lists like learning outcomes with the syllabus, which those are things you should be able to do when you complete a history class at BRCC. And then it also talks about Gen Ed learning outcomes at the bottom right there as well. Of course, it mentioned the textbook again. I think the one they got is the 12th edition, History of World Societies. So, like, if you want to get the volume 1 version or the combined edition, that's really up to you. But like I said, it's not mandatory for my class. Some students get it to do the vocab assignments. So they just look up the terms in the book and define them, that kind of thing. Or you can also use encyclopedias. Like, there's a lot of those online that are pretty good to look up short definitions. So that's the primary assignment that the textbook I mostly use for, which there should be several of these assignments already posted. The one right now you can start working on is the first key terms assignment, which covers mostly terms on prehistory, Mesopotamia, Egypt, etc. And those should be written in short definitions, like minimum 1-2 sentences or phrases, typed format, and not as a stickler with the citations of the source you use, but I would like a list of like whatever source that you used, to write those up. There's actually 4 of these assignments you can do. I think the first, second, and third vocab terms are 150 points each. And then there's a bonus one. There's a final one, a bonus one. I think it's worth 30 bonus points. But those assignments are due at the end of the semester. So I think May 10th, Friday, I think is the final date to turn them in. So like I said, don't make sure you don't forget that you have to do that assignment. Let's see. And of course, it does list, like, the assignments do list, like, outside sources besides the textbook. So, like Encyclopedia Britannica is probably one of the best ones you can use for a source. Ancient History Encyclopedia, I think, is one also that's pretty good. Of course, Wikipedia, I guess, also as well. But those are different, sources you can use that are online. Just look up basic historical terms about famous people, famous events, and things like that. In the syllabus, it does talk about like different other assignments. Like, you'll have exams throughout the semester, which I don't really give cumulative type exams. Of course, they're all online, these exams. I know the first exam is going to be on ancient Egypt mostly. I think I might possibly throw something else in it if I want to. But I don't know if they're as long as a test you'll sometimes have in class, like a written one. But mostly I give like multiple choice, matching, fill in the blank, kind of short answer kind of questions is usually what I prefer for my type of assessments that I give out online. It's like basically like a quiz that's more extensive. Is really all it is. Um, I don't give midterms. I usually have like a makeup week before, I guess whenever they have the midterm, which I think will be in March of this semester, but usually I have a makeup period instead during that time period because I think usually we're between exams anyway when I give them. So I'm thinking our first exam will probably be in February, and then maybe our second will be late March or early April, and then obviously the last one will be the final. Will be at the end of the semester. You can be exempt from the final depending on if you have a high grade in the class. I think it's usually around 96% is the average for exemptions for the final exam, but you do have to complete all of your assignments in the semester overall. I give a lot of Canvas quizzes out, 5 or 6, usually they're the semester. I give bonus assignments out too as well, like quizzes and sometimes on documentaries and things like that as well for extra credit. I think I give stuff for attendance too, like there's an attendance assignment, one of the attendance assignment, but usually for participation points, which the participation is more like if you do the assignments or not. Let's see what else I've got listed. I know study guides are worth bonus points, which is usually like 30 bonus points, I think, for that, which I'll kind of show you later with those. But let me see what else we've got in here. It does list the bonus projects if you want to look at that too. The Veterans World History Project is worth up to 200 bonus points. Like if you know a veteran or you have a relative or family member that's a veteran and they would like to be interviewed, of course, you can get bonus points for this interview. And so it could be anyone from, going back to like maybe World War II or the Korean War, Vietnam War era, or obviously up to like Desert Storm and the Iraq, Afghanistan wars, or they could just have been in the military as a veteran, uh, U.S. Army or Marines or whatever, Navy, etc. Doesn't necessarily have to be in a war itself, but this assignment should be either a completed video interview or audio interview. For video, but either one is fine. I don't really need a transcript of the interview. Some students will sometimes give that to me, but that's not necessarily something you have to turn in. You do need to have a release form signed also, which you can find with the guidelines. Which the guidelines for the Veterans Project is located in the assignment that's in Canvas. So it should be already listed there. And I think I've got links you'll find here and there, which will show you examples of the veterans interviews that have been done previously by students. So that's there. And then also I've got a new project. I've got the Student Historical Documentary Project, if you're interested in doing that also as well, which is a new project I had students start doing last year, which I've got examples of that on Canvas as well. You look at that's on my YouTube channel. I don't know if they're that great, but that's something that you can do as a project, and that's where you create a short documentary about some historical event you want to do. Which I do prefer if you tell me what kind of project you're going to attempt with that, like what subject it's going to be. So yeah, do email me first before you decide you want to do that project. You can do it in different ways. I know like through PowerPoint, you can make short little videos that way. I think people have done it different ways, that version. Of course, I use StreamYard or other types of similar formats to make video, and it's different ways you can make videos, But there should be, like I said, examples, on my YouTube channel showing some projects that students have attempted so far. And you can, well, it says you can, but actually now you can. So you can do, but if you want to do the veterans and the student historical documentary project, I'll pretty much allow it. The grading scale is a 10-point scale. So like if you want to make an A in the class, you need to make close to about a 90% average overall. So you get the idea of that right there. Plagiarism, make sure you don't plagiarize, of course, material from online sources, books, and so on. You can get a 0 on a project for plagiarism, where I can take a lot of points off. But maybe the paper only has just a part of it plagiarized, and so you could get a lot of points taken off because of that project. Do see the BRCC student handbook. There's information, of course, about plagiarism, that kind of thing. There's a thing about safety in the syllabus as well, so do check that out. The number for campus police at BRCC, like if you're going to be on campus at BRCC, the number for campus police is 216-8888. There's a thing called BRCC Connect. I don't know if you're interested in that, but in case of emergency, like they, cancel classes or whatever, they usually send out messages to students and faculty during the semester. So you might want to sign up for that. I know it's something probably more important during hurricane season or whatever, but that's listed in the syllabus also as well. There should be a thing about student code of conduct. I think that's more for if you're on campus on things like that. If you're on campus, make sure you have a student ID, parking tag for your vehicle, and things like that. There's stuff about, I think in the syllabus on the bottom there, you can see on the academic calendar, the academic learning center, which I don't think my area has anybody that can tutor you in history, that kind of thing, but math, science, things like that. I know they have tutors over there. If you have a disability, contact disability services. Pretty much for students that do have disabilities, I usually give them a time and a half for assessments, quiz exams, that kind of thing. There's that thing right there, of course, about that. So safety stuff right there on the bottom again. Now there should be also on in announcements. I think there's a section there about the bonus projects also as well. So it's not just in the syllabus; it should be in announcements somewhere, kind of listing those. So yeah, it says you can do both of them, the projects right there. But like I said, email me about those if you're interested in doing those. With the Veterans Project, with the Student Historical Documentary Project. Do let me know like what kind of historical topics you would like to do with the student project with that, the documentary. Try to stick more to world history. Don't really try to do American history as much. I prefer more world history kind of stuff we're doing, like similar to what we're doing in this class. If you want to do something more modern history, that's fine too. I think pretty much give you anything if you want. But do let me know the kind of topics and maybe let me know more than one that you want to do also as well. So there's kind of listed right there. So that project, the Veterans Oral History Project, will be due Saturday, May 11th. That's when it's actually due overall. Some of those video audio files can be pretty large. So, I think you can post those in Canvas. They're too large. You can always email those to me through like a OneDrive, Google Drive kind of thing, to share them that way as well. It does kind of list the different projects that students have done before. There's one of the Student Historical Documentary Project. It's only got to be 3 to 5 minutes, the video. So it can be a short video. Just make sure it is in that time frame. Like if it's like 1 minute, and I don't know if I gave you too many points on that, but you need to make sure you follow the directions with that project. It's also due Saturday, May 11th, also as well. It's a one-time deal also, so you can't do the Student Historical Documentary Project twice, that kind of thing. I do have a link to the examples on there that students have kind of done so far. I'll put that in there too for you with the guidelines as well. There's the book report again. There should be an announcement about that too in the assignment as well in Canvas. So yeah, there's a deal where you're going to be required to read at least one historical work for the semester. I think the minimum is only got to read 50 pages. I think he used to require like you have to read like a third of the book, which I guess some students don't like to read that kind of thing. But there's a book list online that's in Canvas, so do check that out. And email me like what book you would like to read for the semester. And so yeah, this particular project you're going to kind of summarize the parts you've read from that historical work, and then I kind of do like a review thing that's kind of either maybe separate if you want to do that, but just kind of give me some critical review of what you thought about the book, historical events that the writer talked about, and maybe the author, how he wrote his book, and things like that as well. I do have a writing rubric as well that I'll list as well with the actual project. So, like I said, do email me at the beginning of the semester what book you would like to read for the semester. 2 students per book is usually what I allow per class during the semester. If you go to the syllabus right here, it does kind of list a lot of the main directions, of course, with the project. You notice it says in yellow, it says do not use other outside sources to complete this assignment. So you shouldn't be using other sources to write this paper. All you got to do is read, the required pages, like 50 pages. Or if you want to read the whole book, that's up to you. I think the project isn't due till April in the semester. But this particular book, by the way, from that list, you're going to have to be required to get it. So it's not something that, well, I think the library at BRC should have some of these books. So check there first, see if it's there. If not, you'll have to go maybe to another library or get it online. There may be some ebook versions of that particular book that you can get through Amazon and other sources as well. So check that out also as well. Those are the main directions for it. So you should obviously summarize mostly what the book is about and give me some kind of critical review about it as well. It needs to have a correct cover page, which should be an MLA style. Double spacing, 12 font also is required. Correct margins. Well, it says minimum 3 pages, but usually 2 to 3 pages is the range I'm kind of looking for the paper. Make sure you have a work citation of the book also in MLA style as well for the actual paper. So it should be like a short book report and review of the paper. Make sure you don't plagiarize also as well. I will be checking for plagiarism as well. Also with the critical review part, you can add criticism about the book or about the author as well. Did you like the work? Would you recommend it to someone for reading? Or some positive or negative aspects for the book, or some positive and negative aspects of the author's style of writing on the subject. So I kind of added those in there. Questions that you could ask, I guess, about the book if you want to include that. I don't really require a rough draft, but a lot of times I'll send a paper back if it's not done correctly. So I would like, if you want me to look at your paper, I would, post it early and I could start kind of getting an idea of what you could, change, to your paper to make it better or just to correct the way it should be, like the directions say, like having a correct cover page and things like that, which are kind of important. It also gives you like an outline too, like of the, paper. So cover page should go on top, then the main body and review of the book right there. And then also MLA styles work citation, of course, should just be at the end of the paper, just the book. That's all you should, of course, have the paper on. Also check plagiarism too, your paper as well as different, sources that do that. Also, like other sites like Grammarly and others also check, spelling and grammar and things like that. So you might also want to do that too as well before you turn in a paper for any class. So this particular research paper we do at the end of the semester. Uh, so I think I want to say April is when it'll be due in Canvas. So I'll be kind of sending out reminders about that during the semester. But like I said, make sure like right now you send me what kind of book you want to do for the semester for that project. So there should be a student contract policy page in the back of the syllabus. So check that out. That's just saying that you agree to the terms of the syllabus for the framework of the semester. You can email me that too. Also, just say that if you want as well. So yeah, attendance policies will be mostly based off of like completing assignments. So you do get points for that later at the end of the semester. But like I said, if you don't complete assignments, you will likely not do good in the class, fail, that kind of thing. So I do give makeup periods, like I say, during the semester. Like I think at midterm and I think during before finals week, I usually have a makeup period also as well. But like I said, do take notes about the lectures that you have later. I do have study guides, which study guides are listed in modules and pretty much all the online lectures I've got with the PowerPoints. They have study guides that are in the back at the end of each lecture to help kind of guide you during the semester. So Academic Learning Center doesn't really, I don't know if they have any tutors in history, by the way. So I don't know if that's really, but if you have a comment, question about something, I can help you during the semester. Like I said, discussions, there's a lot of ways you can connect with me with that. You get bonus points for it as well. If you get excessive absences in a class, you can drop. Of course, there should be a drop date later. There should be an academic calendar that's listed in my Canvas, usually showing important dates that are there overall. But you do get 150 points for attendance participation, which, like I said, is more based off of whether you do assignments or not. It should be also at that same page a student information section right there you can fill out and give to me like what your name is, your major, what do you like about history, what do you dislike about history, that kind of thing also as well. But you get 10 bonus points for the student contract policy page along with the pretest as well. There should be sections that are also at the back of the syllabus about military attendance, like if you're absent during the semester, policies with that. So if you're in the military, check that section out. There's a form for that too that they have in their military absence form. But like if for some reason you're called up, because of the military, usually okay with that, But you let me know about that. If you're also a student athlete at BRCC, they have also an absence policy with that, which student athletes can't be penalized because of the fact that they're participating in an athletic competition at the time. But don't abuse that. Don't say you're supposed to be. I guess you're doing a face-to-face class, and you're supposed to be in class, and you're goofing off. That kind of thing can be a problem. But yeah, you of course can't be penalized, of course, and you can make up work and things like that. There should also be a syllabus addendum form that's in the back of a lot of syllabuses. So in case of crisis, like if you have a face-to-face class, it could become online. There's some kind of reason for that. Like God forbid we have another pandemic like COVID or something like that can happen. Sometimes happens here like hurricanes and things like that also as well. But that could happen, also. But we're already in online class right now. Also, there should be a thing with modules. You'll see it later in Canvas, but it should kind of list some things that are already in it right now, which you can see right here. So at the top, I think there should be some kind of preview video for my class. I think I did that last year, kind of like the Stargate thing, if you've ever seen that. There should be a section on that talking about the syllabus. If you got a question about the class, you can go into discussions and ask me right there, or you can just email me if you want to do that too. As well, I've got links to my YouTube channel and where the lecture playlist is going to be, of course, later also as well. I do something called week 0, like before week 1 starts. I kind of already go ahead and post the syllabus for you already. And so the syllabus review will be posted right there below where the syllabus is right there. It says watch syllabus review video. So make sure you watch that at the beginning of the semester. Hey, I'm right here, that kind of thing. But mostly on the bottom there, you need to take the pre-test and the student contract policy page. So get that done for the semester. I think Monday, January 22nd is the due date now. That might change later. I don't know. But get those both done. You get bonus points for those. I have to hand grade those later, but you will get bonus points for them later. Then moving down into week 1, I know in week 1, I think the only thing I'll have is like prehistory lecture. That'll be the first lecture where I kind of go through the background of prehistory. I think I'll have different versions of that lecture I've got too. I'm kind of revising it sort of, that particular lecture. But I've got the PDF or PowerPoint version of that lecture, which will be with that. So you'll watch that lecture in week 1. And there should be a prehistory quiz, number 1. You'll take that. That'll be the main assessment for that. If you got any comments, questions, of course, about the prehistory lecture, you can ask me on the bottom there, which you get bonus points for, by the way. And then in week 2, I'll move on to talk about ancient Mesopotamia, which part 1 and 2. Actually, I'm going to have, I think, one version of the lecture I'll give you where it's kind of combined. But you want to watch the part 1 and 2 later if you want. That'll be assessed in another quiz, Canvas quiz number 2, which I think there should be 2 sections of it, which there it is, both of them together. So part 1 is the top and then part 2 on the bottom. That'll be assessed. I think I haven't really changed the dates on that later, but I'll probably do sometime. And I think that'll be due like early February is when it's going to be. I'll fix that later, the date. But that'll be assessed with Canvas quiz number 2, 100 points. You see, like the first one, prehistory is 100 points too. And you can also ask comments, questions about that too in assessments. I don't really have like anything beyond that. You'll see later. I know week 3 will be getting into, I think the topics after that today, do prehistory, Mesopotamia. I also do like the rise of like the Phoenicians, Israelites. I'll talk about the Israelites a little bit, and then I'll get into ancient Egypt. I think that's pretty much a third of the class right there. And I'll probably have maybe an exam around that time. There should be study guides listed there too, also as well. Which the study guides, like I say, are located in different locations. They're there listed in modules. You also find them in assignments too, as well. And also, like I said, the back of the PowerPoint lectures, I do kind of list them there as well. And I've got the PowerPoint versions I know of, like I think it says there the prehistory Mesopotamia, Egypt. There's a PowerPoint version of it that way, and then I do have the Word versions too, also listed as well. Those can be turned in for bonus points. Like I know the first exam study guides worth 30 bonus points, and they have a second one and a third one, the final one they have at the bottom. You see there, and that'll be worth all 30 bonus points, and it'll be due later at the end of the semester in May. But yeah, do use the study guides, during the semester. That does help you a lot, because a lot of the questions I have on quiz exams kind of come off the study guides overall. I did list the book report, like the actual, like I think the listing of the book sources right there you can read. They're right there too, but just for that you can just mostly go to the assignment that's in Canvas assignments. I do list the Oral History Veterans Project. I got it right there too. I put it there. It's mostly in assignments, but I kind of have it listed in modules too as well. So if you want to go to that link right there for the veterans projects, the different examples that other students have done, you can look at there. But like I said, the veterans interviews, they don't have to be in a war. It could be just be in the Cold War. Like my father was in the Air Force, and he was in during the Cold War era. I think he was around when the Cuban Missile Crisis were going on, that kind of thing. So it could be just that. He was just like in the military, but not actually in a real war, like Vietnam, that kind of thing. So that's not due till like you see Saturday, May 11th. But like I said, if you interested in one of those bonus projects, do let me know. Academic calendar is usually just listed in modules. You'll find it right there. So there should be just basic. I think it's got just listing like important dates, like holidays, Martin Luther King, Mardi Gras, spring break. I know those are dates that will be off during the semester. Things like graduation, I think is listed in things like that. I've got, I think that I don't think it's got all the different assignments that are due, but it does have some stuff in there to kind of help you. It's got the drop date for the semester and things like that. And then also semester office hours, I've got that listed there in modules, but it's also, like I said, listed at the top of the syllabus on the first page. And like I said, if you got a question about the class, you can always email me, any kind of comment, question, whatever. You can also, discussions also as well. If you want to shoot a comment question on YouTube, that's cool. This is it pretty much for this syllabus review. Later, I'll have some more information for you at the beginning of the semester. Of course, I'll have some upcoming lectures in week 1 and 2, which will be on prehistory and also on ancient Mesopotamia. These will be later assessed in Canvas quizzes that are coming up uh, early on the semester. So right now, if you have any, like I said, comments, questions about the class, do let me know. Either email or you can send, like I said, comments, questions in Canvas discussions. This will be pretty much it for the early part of the semester right now with this syllabus review video. But that's it. I hope everybody has, of course, a great beginning of the semester at BRCC. And if you got, like I said, any comments, questions, just shoot them right to me, of course, anytime overall. So y'all take care and have a great beginning of the semester.